In this video, I decided to try and beat Elden Ring's DLC while only cheesing. This means I will use strategies and weapons that put the game in easy mode, or straight up just breaks the bosses. I did this concept for Elden Ring's main game, which allowed for some insane cheeses. However, the DLC somehow allowed for even better cheeses to be discovered and used. This involved a lot of game-breaking moments. Okay. Just keep dodging. There we go. There we go, see? As well as completely one-shotting bosses with Comet Azure. And just like that, she's dead. And of course, using Mimic in combination with spammy strategies. We'll just be spamming Swarm of Flies. There we go, simple. I also decided to return to the main game to redo some of the failed cheeses that I attempted in the first video. And let me just say, this created a lot of satisfying moments. Easy. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, why not consider subscribing so you don't miss them? And as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Alright, so obviously the first boss we're going to be doing is the Dancing Lion, and in order to cheese him, we don't really need much. The only thing we really need is the Raw Medallion to boost our damage even more. So, we'll just get that. So the easiest way to kill this guy would just be spamming Pest Threads, so we'll just get to it. And he's dead. Give me that medallion though. Alright, and that is basically all our setup done. The only thing left that we have to do is get the Scadutree fragments that we need. I'm just gonna spam from here, honestly. I'm enjoying myself. Are you? Alright, now we finally have our Scadutree fragment, so we can just clear out this place and get to the boss quickly. Excuse me, sir. Bye. I will be seeing ya, except I'm not. I'm just gonna be going my way. Alright, so I have made it here. I am tempted to equip a shield in order to block some of his range attacks, though. Oh. Well, yeah. Anyway, we probably need a shield in order to... You've already heard me say this. Let me just get the shield. Alright, Kite Shield. And for those who are curious, this is my build. It's just enough to wield this seal as well as Rock Breath. That's basically it. Please don't instantly jump me. Mimic, I believe in you. Why am I being aggroed on? Oh my god, the shield is really carrying me right now. There we go, finally. Just stand still, mate. It'll all be over soon. Ooh. Mimic got good bleed. Wait, let's try block. Okay. It's pretty effective. Oh! Go away! Mimic! Thank you. I think the only hard part about that is the ice part, because I don't think you can block it so easily. But you can just straight up block the lightning. Like, yeah, it will chip through a little bit, but it basically does no damage. You basically just let Mimic do all the work while you just rot him. It's pretty simple. And to those that think,
oh my god, it isn't a cheese. It isn't a cheese. What are you doing? Your name's called cheesing only and you're doing that?
I barely did anything. I blocked him and spammed Rock Breath. For that boss, I really don't know what less I could have done. Anyways, we're going to have to do a little bit of setup for this next cheese. It's not too much, but we do need one of the moves. Okay, so we're going to need the Flame of the Fell God, and to get that we do need to actually kill this dude. Got a slight feeling it will be pretty simple. Even if he heals, he's screwed. Bye-bye. Nice. And believe it or not, that is actually all we need for this cheese. So here's the thing. I actually haven't tested this cheese yet. So I do not know if it still works, and if it doesn't, I might cry. Okay, so what should happen is I get close to the gate and then use this and it goes through. It's working. If you can hear my game sound right now, I'll try and turn down the music if I've got it playing, but you can hear her taking damage. Alright, it's working. I wonder how many hits this will take. Oh, there we go. Finally dead. Alright, that took a little while, but we got it. Easy. I actually really like that cheese. I genuinely didn't think you could do that for any type of boss, so The fact that even slightly worked, it's pretty impressive. Oh damn, I get to use this lion head as well. It's got pretty good physical negation, as you can see over here. So it gives me an excuse to use it at least. So we're gonna rod him first. Oh, maybe it does do good damage then. Oh, he's down? Okay. I will be abusing this. No! Fire! Oh wait, I can just block this, right? Yep. Take advantage of this. You can just hold out your shield here to try and not get hit. And while he's on your mimic, you just spam him with pest threads. Really close. Stop! Stop! Thank you, mimic. And just like that, you cheese him easily. But we will be forgetting the part where I died, because unlike me, you guys watching are actually good at the game. But as someone who's never used shields before, I did not realize they were this good. I did not think you could block most of Hippo's attacks just with a shield. Genuinely. Now what we're going to do is try and get to Gaius, and if you didn't know, one of the only ways, I think maybe honestly the only way to get to him is to go through Shadowkeep this way. And unlike the other cheeses, we actually don't need to set up anything. We just need to get there and honestly just win. Wait, this is actually a good counter to these guys. And they're annoying as to fight, and it just destroyed him. I don't know if this still works, that's the only problem. Okay, so he comes from all the way over there, so if I go here, would it work? Okay, we're gonna try something. And what we're gonna try is horseback. Let's see if it's easier if I'm on torrent. Wait, that actually could have worked. Alright, let's do Dash of War. Wait, does this work? It sure does. And it's fully deserved. Bye-bye. It took a few tries to get him to that position, but after using Torrent, I do suggest just doing that. Try and bait out the rush with Torrent and then quickly run around to the side that I went on. Definitely makes this fight a lot more simple. Alright, so the reason now we're in the Raw's base is because we want to get Knight's Lightning Spear, which is just a long-range incantation that really does good damage. Alright, easy. Okay, we want to get the Swarm of Flies incantation as it will do decent bleed build-up. And we can spam it from afar. Just like that. Okay, so we've got our Mimic Revered Spirit Ash Blessing thing to +6 now, so this should be good. Once again, this is the before build. This is the one we're using. And we'll be switching our talismans out once we summon Mimic. Okay, now we switch build. Dodge, and then we just block. This part is super easy to dodge, so all you need to dodge is that 4-hit combo thing he does. We'll just be spamming Swarm of Flies. There we go, simple. Okay, granted you could probably block that thing and it'd probably be easier to do. Dodge, and then block, 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 and then dodge twice. Block, and then dodge. See? So you don't need to block everything, you can just dodge a lot of it. Block. He's gonna do Domain. You can block this, hold block, block, dodge. Dodge. See? And then you just basically just want to support your Mimic while he does that. Pretty simple, right? I have no armor on, no defensive buffs. Just holding shield and dodging every now and then. Pretty simple. Okay, so for this next cheese, which we will be doing on Scadutree Avatar, It's actually a pretty interesting one if I get to do it right. And that is the main, I wouldn't say issue, but that is the main difficulty with this cheese. You kind of have to go exactly where I go. And in order to make it easier for you to know where it is, I will be trying to give you some tips to kind of help with that as best I can. So the only things you really need for this cheese is Mohg's spear, and honestly, that's it. There we go. So we got the rock here, we got the rock here, and then we drop down here. There we go. And you want to wait till he gets close enough so that your Ashfall hits. Like here. Okay, we do it again. Okay. There we go. And now what you want to do is you want to spam dodge. He will try and spawn in next to you. And if he does that, he'll knock you off. See? And you only have to fight one phase of this. You just keep dodging. There we go. There we go. See? Just like that, you've defeated the boss with absolutely zero difficulty. But once again, just in case you didn't see it before, I will show you which rock you go to. So you run this way until you see a rock like this. I don't know how to describe the shape, but it's just this rock. There's no rock that really looks like this. So you wait till you get to this rock, then you turn left, you see this big rock sticking out, and then you see this little indent. This little indent is what you want to see. So you see this, go left, go to here, here. If I fail, it'll be embarrassing, but you just drop down, and don't die like me, but there's a rock there, you can land on it. So we're going to be going into the dragon area now in order to fight Bayle. And Bayle's cheese is kind of cool. It's kind of similar to Melania's cheese, but I'll get more into it once we're actually there. So we'll grab, which one is it? It is this, Sword Lance from Gaius. Anyway, now that we're back here, once we get to the cliff, we want to aim our Ash of War into the void. Just like this. And that just basically just skips the whole part of going down into there. Just Swarm or Fly spam. Same thing we did to Messmer. He's just going to get constantly staggered. This might be the most unskillful thing I've ever done in this game. Like, there really is no technique to this. I'm just spamming a button. I deserve that. Alright, so if you're actually being smart, you're going to realize maybe stay at range. I got too overconfident and decided not to dodge. And you're dead. So now that we took care of him, we just have to go to Bayle at this point. Alright, well, we made it. But in order to do this cheese, we do actually have to spawn him in first. So we'll just quit out the game once he spawns in and then reload. Okay, so we want to proc our double stealth. And then what we want to do is instantly crouch. Okay, now that we're in his tail, what we want to do is just use Poison Mist. Also, I just wanted to mention that we hit 2,000 subscribers. That's 2,000 people who have clicked on the button and want to see my content, and that's just an insane number to think about. The support I've also gotten from the cheesing video is honestly just overwhelming, and I'm grateful to all of you who leave nice comments as well as those who just watch the videos in the first place. So, I just wanted to say thank you. Alright, back to the video. Alright, GG's. I have no idea how long this took. I'll check in the editing after. Like, it really has no difficulty to it. As long as you just know the strategy, it's almost impossible to fail it. Anyways, it's time to move on to the next cheese. Alright, so the next place we're going to go to is the Cerulean Coast. And sadly, there isn't really a cool cheese for this boss, so it is just back to Mimic Spam and Rot. Okay, so we're probably going to activate our double stealth. And hopefully we don't aggro most of these guys. Okay, we made it. It was a lot easier than it usually is. Let's just attempt something. So I'm going to upgrade this thing to plus 9 or 10. And I'm going to just buff myself a bunch, so I basically one-shot him. Alright, plus 9. We can just buff now. Mimic now. And then heal. Ooh. He's going for me? Why does he... Oh, there we go. Now that is damage. Okay, his poise broke, and... Ash of War. There we go, dead. Isn't that just a lot more interesting to do than spamming rot from afar? But the only thing that you're going to have to know how to dodge is that first part, where he does that 8-hit combo. But once he comes out of it, Mimic will start hitting him, and then you just do 2 charge attacks to poise break. And if you have more stamina than what I did, you would just Ash of War him. Again and again. Okay, so in order to cheese Metyr, I'm gonna need to have a full magic build with Comet Azure and all the buffs you could imagine. And one of those buffs include me having to do Sorceress Ellen's questline. So, I guess it's time to speedrun it. And this, I'm pretty sure this is basically our questline done. Alright, grab that. Alright, now we're going to get Terra Magica, which will increase our magic damage by 20% when we're standing in the zone. And it's very necessary in order to cheese Metyr. Pretty simple stuff, to be honest. Alright, grab that. Alright. Okay, now the last thing that we need to do is get the Cerulean Hidden Crack tier, which will just make it so that we don't have any cost for using any FP. Oh my god. Oh, you are dead, basically. GG. Alright, now give me this crack tier. Alright, now we want to start doing the Count Ymir questline in order to get to Metyr. And honestly, I'll probably skip to the part where I get to the finger place. Alright. Simple. The other ruins is relatively tame, but this one is definitely the pain one. This is the one where I lose my mind. Or should I say, this is the one where I would lose my mind if I didn't have stealth. It's the easiest time I've had with this section. So the reason we didn't want to switch our build just yet is because there is an NPC that invades us, and I do think it's easier with our current build. Here we go, and again. GG. Okay, so now this is where we're going to respec our build and equip all the stuff I collected. So this is my updated build right now. You could just pause the video to see what I used. And now all that's left to do is to upgrade the staff. Alright, we've got it to +9, and I think we're now ready to fight the boss. Alright, so once again, this is the finalized build that we have on right now. Alright, this is it. I am kind of nervous for this because it could go miserably wrong, but there's no time like the present. Okay, go back. Drink this. Now. And just like that, she's dead. I still kind of did it early, but it worked. 51k in, what, 3 seconds? As stupid as you may look, it did in fact work. Alright, now that we're in the ancient ruins of Ra, we're going to try and cheese Romina, and to be honest, there's a few things I could do for this, and it honestly just depends on which one out of the 3 works. I mean, so far, these cheeses have been going really well. I honestly think they might be better than the ones I did for the main game. But honestly, I think the best cheese is still yet to come. That's not good. let's see if this works. It's kind of going to be the same thing that I did for Metyr, but I just don't think this one's going to work as well, I'll be honest. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Dead. A completely original cheese by me. I just took the cheese from the Metyr one and adapted it by double stealth. Sadly, this is the end of this build, so we're gonna have to respec one more time. Basically back to our original build. So, let's do that. Full endurance. There we go. Alright. Alright, so we're nearing the end of this run where we've only got 2 bosses left to cheese. Leda and obviously Consort Radahn. And honestly, the Leda one's kind of making me a little bit nervous. Okay, so the reason we're going back to Caelid is because we want to get the normal greatsword that's found there. Alright, grab this. I also want to grab the Giant's Hunt Ash of War, as hopefully it will allow us to cheese Leda. This works. Oh wow, this incantation does a lot. And you're dead. There we go, GG. Alright, anyway, we've gotten this now. I did not think the double stealth would really work that well against these guys that just spam that spiral stuff. But it actually worked out really well. Alright, so we finally reached Leda. Let's hope this greatsword works. Oh yeah, while you're yapping, I'm going to scroll on TikTok to feed my dopamine addiction. No. Oh, here we go. Alright, you're dead. There we go. Alright, he's dead. Hopefully Nathan holds off against Leda for a little bit. While I'm just spearing this guy. There we go. I mean, he didn't really go for the target I wanted him to, but it worked. There we go. Alright, simple. The main difficulty of this fight is the fact of the ganking, but if you just kill the first 2 really quickly, killing Leda is going to be no issue. Alright, now we collect this. Alright, cool. Alright, so we are ready. I'm not very confident about this cheese because I actually haven't attempted it before. So we're just going to have to kind of go for it. Alright, so with this one, we're going to use Poison Mist, similar to how we do it to Melania. Okay, so we'll just Poison Mist him. Alright, and now we'll just wait here until he gets to stage 2. Alright. Hey, buddy. Oh. Oh, buddy, did you fall down? That'd be a real big shame if you fell down. This dude would not fall down this area. Because apparently there's, in the middle of this place, there's like a place they can fall down. And for some reason, he was just avoiding it. Anyway, we finally did it. And if you would rather go through that pain than fight him the honest and truthful way, then, all the power to you. Because as much as this is a cheese, I don't think this is much easier than actually fighting him. And of course, if you're following this video to do it yourself, you're probably not going to know his moveset. So I'd go for it, but be prepared for a bit of pain. Alright, so even though we finished the main game and DLC at this point, there was a few cheeses in my first video that I either didn't do or just failed miserably at. So I wanted to take the chance to do them again in this video. So what it means I'm going to have to do is do a new game plus. And I imagine the cheeses will work the same no matter what new game I'm in. I'm just going to skip to when I actually reach the cheeses, so you don't have to watch the whole thing again. Alright, let's get to it. So now that we made it to Carrier Manor, we need to do the Loretta cheese, obviously. And this cheese involves deloading the game and reloading it. And it kind of bugs out the AI to think that you haven't started the actual fight yet. So you can basically just get free damage off, and it won't even attack you. Alright, so apparently we just walk in here and then go to the left side. And then we deload the game and reload it. Okay, it seems to have worked. Realistically, you can kill her with anything you want, but because we've already got the New Game Plus and our magic build, we're just going to use this. But it doesn't really have to be this. Alright, he's dead. Easy. Anyway, the next cheese is pretty far ahead in Leda, so I'll just skip to that when I get there. Alright, so we finally made it to Mohg Palace, and the strategy is to honestly just beam Mohg to death. It should work assuming that they haven't changed anything. But every time I try this, usually it fails miserably. I feel like I started it too early.
Thrice. I can see it.
Well, it worked. And to those who are interested, this is the build. As well as the talismans. This one is a DLC exclusive talisman, however you don't really need it as it only shortens the casting speed and has no effect on damage. Everything else you can get in the main game. Alright, so now that we've made it to Lanedale, we can finally fight Morgott. And I feel like the cheese is going to be kind of similar to the Mohg one, except we're probably going to use the shackle to keep him stunned. But for this to work, we're going to have to quit out, as when you first spawn in, you spawn right next to him, which is not what we want. I was tempted to use it again, but you know what, we'll just do this. And he's dead. And just like that, that is how you cheese those 3 bosses that I failed to do in the first video. Alright, and just like that, that is how you beat Elden Ring's main game and DLC while only cheesing. Who knows, maybe I'd do this type of idea for other games. But on that note, peace.